Hello there and welcome. Beloved Ascension Pioneers, welcome to this episode that is recorded at the seaside once again. So as you can see, I've been taking a short retreat, personal holiday, and I was guided to record something on this trip, and as the video is uploaded, it means I'm already back, so welcome back. And what it's really been going through my mind, and something that's been coming through recurring sessions and themes, is a theme of leap of faith, of really trusting ourselves. How do we trust all levels of ourselves? So if you're guided to dive deeper into this topic, I would like to invite you to take my mastery course on mastering divine trust, because we can be really aligned with our spirit guidance and the way that we will personally receive it. It's always a personal experience. So the level of consciousness you're plugged into means that you're receiving from that level. That is why we cannot compare our guidance to other people or how others are receiving, and sometimes we try to put everything in a box and compare ourselves with others, and sometimes others won't understand us, especially Ascension Pioneers, because we'll be plugging into these different dimensional experiences that most are sometimes still incapable of perceiving, as they're still developing their own soul embodiment. So a theme of leap of faith really came through, and how to let go. I mean, truly let go, because a lot of times I see we're struggling with these inner monologues that we think they're dialogues, but it's actually inner monologues, because no matter what comes forth for us as a relationship, as a trigger, as a mirror, in fact, is our own state of initiation we haven't yet fully developed. So if we have doubts, if we have disabilities in a way that we perceive they're such, then really comes from our own internal blockages. I have a lot of people who often ask me, why are they blocked? Why are they not abundant? How to create more abundance? And the main theme here is to realize that you, me, you, we are abundance. Our soul, infinite spirit potentiality, can be reflected through the soul and experienced, and of course integrated through embodiment. Not everybody will follow this mastery path that is complete soul embodiment, because not everybody will be able to work fully with the body. Self-mastery means taking the aspect of body and really diving your spirituality as deep as really working with the body. There's a lot of repressed and shadow that, most people are not even tuning into. So when you're coming from this higher consciousness, means that you're always connected with that super conscious, with all that is, and that you're able to hold that amount of light. And even though when you can do that, there's still external reality, there's still densities, there's still other people influences that will be in a way your triggers. Sometimes somebody comes and they continue to poke you, so that once you will start to ask yourself, okay, these doubts, even if these people bring them up as a comparison, they don't always trust you. They say, I trust you in your path. But then they will start to physically show this ability to trust. And then this will be reflected in our own disability to trust the self, if we will react and respond to that. So recently I've been doing this guidance on how to be more abundant, how to really work through those things that we perceive are our blockages. So imagine this benevolent, pure, loving life force that is complete and utter creation energy. So the force of living creation that flows through you. That creation has no opposites, it has no boundaries, it has no limitations, no pause buttons. It knows no such thing as a blockage. So blockage can only be self-created, not with a capital S. I'm talking about this mind-controlling aspect that we say, wow, it's the personality aspect. And just recently I've heard Moji speaking about, live as though, you're not personally involved. So as though you do not exist. You can be like a cloud. And I love this saying. It's because it's so true. Because so often we identify with these clouds, and then from one cloud we even create fragmentations and multiple aspects of these clouds that then we kind of have hardship, which part of the cloud are we now accessing, and really filtering ourselves through it. And there's so much filters and more instead of just coming to that unison. So what I see is that people, when they start perceiving things as a blockage, they start to feel that separation from their self, from their source, because this personality identification created this blockage. And although the blockage really isn't there, because on a higher level and your inner planes of being, there is no such thing as a blockage. But when you're walking through this earth school mastery, you will go through these things. It's natural for the progression of your evolution of the soul. So the important thing here to know is that, first of all blockages are the lower self created. And second of all, when we want something, when we want to be in the abundant flow, which means that we are in our own vortex because we are the abundance. Whenever there's something that feels non-abundant, non-aligned, it means that we're just not in our vortex. A lot of times we won't really allow ourselves to get into the vortex because we will feel that our energy is still involved somewhere else, that we're obliged to still hold the energy somewhere else. And then we say, how are we not abundant in this higher reality? It's because so much of our energy is still being invested somewhere else. That's the basic principle of energy investment. Wherever you will put energy, that's where the flow of the reality will go. So ask yourself really primally, with this leap of faith, means leap of faith of trusting yourself completely without any self-sabotage, doubt, perceptions of a separation, of these things that we call blockages. This is what really means to be in the leap of faith, when you can live each moment in the abundant presence of the now moment. And that's why I've chosen the ocean scenery. I didn't want to wait with this video until I get home, because then, the ocean holds this energy of releasing, and it can assist us with really letting go of every particle of ourselves that feels it's attached to others, to their experiences, to our own experiences that we think we need, that we might not necessarily not need even anymore in this level, because we always outgrow something. So a lot of times I notice beings who, they already have this vortex within them, the energy is already working with them, but what they're doing is they're thinking they're needed somewhere else, or they're associated with a certain task or role, or being there for others, and they're just not stepping into this new creation energy. So what they think is, they think that time and the sequential experiences they think they need to be in sort of linear mode. So when I finally finish this, then I will be able to do that, and then maybe I'll be able to experience that and enjoy this and that and feel bliss. Enlightenment is this final destination in the end that we think we're going towards, and it's not really that way. It can be a very long journey if we perceive it like that. And I see a lot of people who want things, they have these strong desires for more freedom, maybe to be with a certain person, to have a certain relationship, but they can't attain it, they can't maintain it because their energy investment is somewhere else. And the baby aspect within us that's not yet fully spiritually mature will say, oh, why not me? Oh, it's like this crying out for attention, when the mature aspect of ourselves will be more in the lines of, okay, so why am I still not creating this if that is my new desire? Why not? What's stopping me? It's time to be really real. And this means that we tap into the part of us that feels what it needs in this now moment. If that's freedom, it's freedom. If you think there's still things holding you to a certain level of your reality, and you feel kind of plugged in, or you feel kind of in matrix because of it, or you feel you owe yourself to another being or person or situation, and you feel you're sacrificing yourself, that again is coming from that old. Because in truth, we don't owe any aspect of ourselves to any other aspect of the self, because it is all of the self. But we need to be role models. Today I got this word, role modeling. It's becoming really important, and the more we can live in this abundant leap of faith energy, the more we can role model for others. Sorry, tongue-tied a bit. The ocean does that as well. So it's really important that we kind of embrace this part of us that is not linear. So the infinite creation of who we are, it's constant potentiality. If you feel you desire something, why not go for it? It might not be something overwhelmingly big for the beginning, but take that first step. Somebody wants something else, that what they've been having for years and years still feels comfortable and safe, and they're yet still choosing it, and they haven't yet mastered the art of choice. So sometimes the person will think, okay, I'm not abundant, must be a blockage. In truth, it's not a blockage, it's just you've outgrown a certain path. Your soul is already preparing you for something else. But your human personality is not in a way cooperating. That's why I really resonate with this emoji saying, live as though you don't exist. And with the you, it means the persona identification. The real you will always be behind the scenes, just guiding every move. And a lot of the times, it's always coming from this separation of how guidance comes. When you can be so neutral and so present, this is this anchoring of the now energy. You will know everything as guidance. And when I work with people personally and in what I do, I see that most of them, and I don't like to generalize things, but still most of them have this affinity to. When something is good or very positive, very uplifting, they will recognize it as spirit guidance. When on the other hand, something feels more negative, they'll say, oh, but that must not be guidance. I'm sure it's nothing. And then I say, of course it is. It's a message for you as well, because spirit is not separate. Life is life. It's neutral. It's all an experience, and every experience is a part of the wisdom that will become crystallized from it. And yet I see that when it's something like that, a lot of times we don't recognize it. So we're only tapping into one part of the scale, while the other ones, it's, you know, it's always going to be this constant upheaval in this game for attaining balance, while we're not even able to see the whole picture. So how can we be in balance if, first of all, we're not able to receive on all levels, if we recognize everything as pure guidance? So the next thing to really do, is an advice coming from spirit, is sometimes we have these things that we feel, this is something I really want to do, but I can't. And this is self-blockage, you know, lower self-blockage, the mind telling us. And it's because we sometimes have this image that we need to shift the energy right away. When in truth, everything's like a cycle, and each cycle has unfolding layers and steps for us to master and walk through. So we have to begin with the first one. So it's important to start asking the question, okay, that leap of faith, what's the first step that will bring me to that leap of faith energy, and how do I let go? Remember, if we constantly live in this awareness that we need to just let go until we're finally perfect to start living this new reality, we're never going to get it. We can wait for a whole lifetime until maybe we come to the inner planes and we realize, oops, you know, it was so simple. It was already there. It's just I didn't choose it. I didn't choose it in this now moment. Sometimes I'm with people who constantly have great visions and imagination, but they constantly live in those future projection realities, and they're still not masterful enough and not capable to draw them forth in the now, because they think they exist somewhere outside. And they're kind of like, it's almost like chasing the dream, or the dream never comes. It's people who are really successful in their soul attainment, it's who do those steps that they wouldn't even recognize them as goals. They're just doing them. It's just a natural living flow. And this is when we become these role models. It's this role modeling energy that we become with this constant leap of faith energy. It's this dynamics that keeps us open. So instead of feeling I can do that, and yet there's something there, you feel there's a shift that it's a lot of times the thing we think that we can't do at all is the thing we need to do, because that will expand us. And the expansion of the energy, the shift can be like sudden. It's just that sometimes we need more time to get that. And when we do, when we're going to learn about this dynamics of how quick shifts can be for us in this new, it's just do the right thing that you think you're incapable of doing, or disabled. And you're never disabled. It's just a part of you that haven't yet tried that new venue. Because a lot of times when you think about choice, we think, okay, choices are going to come along that road. Well, how about that road and that road and that road? And imagine the infinity, the multiple realities of the choices that you can make that are going to have different potentialities that actually all coexist as one. That's the paradox. That's the divine paradox. And if you want to learn more about that and the higher nature of our being, you know, apply for my workshop on cosmic convergence, because it has a lot of this knowledge and it's very available. I made it special, super juicy, available for everybody. So the thing is that when we become this naturally organic leap of faith living beings, living like we don't exist, just really anchored in this presence, is we won't think of ourselves ever as not abundant. And when we're going to take that first step, we're going to feel how it is to be limitless. Ooh, that's how it feels. The old energy will never have even a chance to come back into our life, because we've already experienced the other pathway. And this is how we're going to be learning about the multiple choices, instead of just thinking of this constant letting go experience, which sometimes can be so overwhelming. I have to do this and that first, and you know, read so many books and let go of so many things, and maybe then one day, maybe when I'm you know, a senior, if I get to that part of my physical reality, then maybe I will work more in this aspect of myself, or spiritually attain. I'm going to be working on mastery, and then maybe something will change. It's kind of this wishful thinking, right? So it's really time. And I've created this, I've sourced this beautiful spirit song, which you can hear at the end of the video. And it's called A Token of Love, and it speaks about this really joining of your inner paths, of different multitudes of paths coming into synergy and creating this leap of faith that you can always live through spirit. Because I have a beautiful experience to share with you. We were camping in the mountains. We created this beautiful fire, but before that took place, I took a short nap in the tent, and I had this dream, and this is one sign how realities are converging, because they're all coexisting. And I had this beautiful experience of this. It was that weekend. And as I was napping, I had this dream how I found this rock, and on top of it was this white shell. You know, it's almost like this representation of creation, white light energy that I work through, that really surfs through me. And then I found it, and the dream was so real. It was exactly this landscape where we camped. Then I woke up, and the first thing I needed to go out in nature, you know, a toilet break. And as I went, the first thing that I saw as I've chosen my place was that white spiral, the tiny little shell on the rock. And I couldn't believe it was so simultaneous. It was this now timeline. It was this look. And the message of it was, don't ever forget that you live the spirit guidance at everything. And another message was, don't take things personally. They are as they are. They have nothing to do with you. So it's this letting go of this personal identification with people, with worries, with other people's choices, and really moving into what are our choices and never doubting them. That's living on the leap of faith. Not just choosing, but then not doubting your choices. That's the next step. That's maybe going to be a bit more challenging. And this was such a beautiful confirmation when I got that. I was just smiling out loud. I was like, I can't believe this. You should see me. I was so excited. Because this is what's really happening. The more we're living this organic flow nature, I'm telling you, not everybody will be comfortable with that. They'll still doubt you. They're still, you know, they're going to say, what do you think, you're making things up? But it's for you to become a role model anyway. It's for you to know how to really let go, is to trust yourself. The only art of letting go is letting go so deeply that you even let go the idea of how you need to let go. And you're just living. It's like your life is a constant state of letting go, you know, activating the new, bringing in the new, and again. So when people ask me, why am I not abundant? It's because they're not living in their creation source field. It's like their soul is already here, waiting for this expansion to take place on this level, but their mind is still kind of keeping them there, and there's nothing left for them there. It's like resources are already, they're already exhausted, you know, there's nothing there really to work with. So when we feel there's something in our lives that's not reflecting pure abundance, pure joy, pure bliss, we have to ask ourselves how in some way we are creating it. Nothing is fixed, nothing is blocked. No universal great divine love would ever block us. It just gives us the experience to realize on our own how masterful we truly are when we remember our true origin. And living through that leap of faith means just allowing yourself. You know, I made a huge expansion today as well, because there's people constantly walking on this path, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to recording in secluded scenes and a very, you know, just private, just for me. And there's people walking and taking a little look, and I'm fine. Because it means trusting. Trusting this is the sacred space for me now, even though there's people, there might be disturbances and, you know, things, but trusting this perfection. And seeing that if something feels like drained out and not abundant, it means, okay, how am I not allowing myself to be the abundance that I am already? And just forgetting all these personal stories that keep us from it. There's the only reason why there can be self-sabotage and control and blockages. In the divine scheme of things, of your true divine personality, which is just your core creation self, there is no such thing. You don't know of these things. So remind yourself very often of the true nature that you are. You don't know of any such dramas, and you know, sometimes people are going to react to the way you are or to your choices, and in the way we're not responsible for that. It's how we help others to grow is by being so strong in our own choices that they're going to start to, you know, trust their own as well. And they're going to remember how in truth we are all brothers and sisters through these choices that we make, to supporting each other in our choices rather than to say, but why are you doing this way? You know, sometimes people say, really trust you, and then something comes up they don't like. And at that moment, like I said, only seeing the positive as the spirit guided and something you like. And then it's something you don't like and it triggers you and you no longer recognize spirit in it. But how? If spirit is all life in creation, that's Holy Spirit. It's complete engravement of source in every aspect of creation and reality, everywhere. Everywhere you sit is source. Everything you look at is source. I am that I am. Remember that? So this is it for today. I hope this was beneficial for you in some way, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, I was gone for maybe a week, but I'm back, and I hope to stay connected with you as most as I can. It's really crucial for us. That's also part of that leap of faith, to have those moments when we're just reflecting internally with our soul. But we don't doubt that sometimes we're going to be guided to retreat, to have this own secluded space just for us, and to not doubt it. So this is part of the Ascension journey as well. And then, of course, we're going to share and, in a way, not compare, but to really contribute to each other. So as always, so much love, wisdom, and power, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Upon that